On the 1st of April, Mojang released 25W14 Craftmine as a joke snapshot for April Fool's Day. In this version of the game, you can craft different worlds, which are called mines, using different mine ingredients in your Minecrafter. And there are various skills you can unlock to counter the potentially rising difficulty. However, in every 5th world, you will randomly encounter one of 9 special mines that presents unique challenges and bosses, and I will rank them based on my own experiences. We start at the pitiful rock bottom with number 9, the Raid Challenge. You spawn in a village, the raid omen effect is ticking down, and just like in vanilla Minecraft, you have to defend a village from the approaching pillagers. In vanilla though, you can prepare the best village for the raid. Here, you're stuck with a random one. I spent more time searching for the lost raiders than actually defending the village from them because of the bad terrain generation. Once I even gave up and ended the challenge in another way, and even if everything goes smoothly, in the late game you start your mines with iron armor, which is too weak to properly fight Vexes, and you also have to fight the maximum amount of waves, the whole 7 waves, and this is just exhausting overall, 0 out of 10. Number 8, the Wither boss fight. Just as with the Raid Challenge, this one is also an unimaginative copy from the vanilla version, but somewhat worse. You spawn in a cave world where monsters spawn around you all the time, and shortly after the Wither appears. Except for the first time it tried to spawn on the bedrock ceiling, and it took me a lot to find it. There then it killed me because again, iron armor is just too weak for that fight. I also died on my 2nd and 3rd attempt, and when I eventually won, I cheesed the fight by letting my pet wolf do most of the work and used the good old tunnel method to kill it. But even that was tedious, with all the other mobs spawning everywhere, distracting the Wither and attacking me. 3 out of 10, wouldn't recommend. Small but deadly. A challenge where you fight 3 waves in a random environment, starting with just silverfish, then baby zombies are added, and then some Vexes. The concept is quite funny, and the difficulty is good. Sometimes though I had issues with finding the last 1 or 2 enemies, and at times like this it got a bit tedious. This challenge and the next one were the 2 challenges that I got the most often, and it can get a bit dull after some time. Luckily, the whole thing can be skipped by unloading the enemies, forcing the next wave to start, or at the final wave, the portal to spawn. 5 out of 10. First try I died to a Vex and I deserved it. Spooky scary skeletons, which sadly is the worst version of Small but Deadly. 3 waves of first skeletons, then wither skeletons, and then both have to be fought in a desert cave with even more monsters. Skeletons are busted in this version since the shield is bugged and doesn't work, and I once even had some bad luck with my spawning location. I spawned in a cave system where I had to dig myself through the world to get to my enemies, but just as the Small but Deadly challenge, the whole thing can be skipped by unloading the enemies, which I again really appreciated. Oh, you might wonder why this is ranked higher than Small but Deadly, even if I found it worse? That's simply because you can glitch yourself through the bedrock ceiling and find villages up there because of a generation bug. Structures like villages cannot be found in normally created mines, and you need them to unlock various ingredients. Normally, you would now be trapped on top of the bedrock ceiling, but desert temples generate as well, and their catacombs pierce through the bedrock, leaving you a bridge back to the inner parts of the world, making the whole thing jump from a 4 out of 10 to a solid 6 out of 10. Yes, villages can be that hard to come by. The Enderdragon. Have you always wanted to fight the Enderdragon in the Overworld? No, you didn't? What a coincidence, me neither, but that is the concept of the boss fight with the added bonus that it is a floating island world. I only got this challenge 1 out of the 40 challenge mines that I did, and there I already had all my skills unlocked, which made the fight very manageable. It got somewhat tedious again when the pathfinding of the dragon glitched out and it flew to the bottom of the world, but it recovered eventually. You should try to kill that dragon within 20 minutes however, otherwise it turns night and other monsters spawn as well. 6 out of 10, not bad, but not great either. Kupier World. Welcome to a weird version of space where trees grow on small ice rocks floating in air with reduced gravity, inhabited by snow golems and polar bears. You spawn at an igloo and your goal is to collect blocks and steadily build up towards the portal high up in the sky. At least that is how I imagine it to be, if I would have gotten the challenge earlier, because by then I already had the displacement wand, which can't really teleport you to everything that is within line of sight. Also multiple jumps and an elytra with some rockets. I would have loved to get this challenge earlier and more often to see how the skills you get on your way affect the difficulty of the challenge, especially when it comes to food management. For everyone who does not generate edible dirt out of thin air, there is a chest in the igloo's basement with some potatoes, probably the only food source besides fish from polar bears. 7 out of 10, an elaborate challenge with a somewhat melancholic feeling, I have to say. The Enderman. And not just one random Enderman, no, we are talking about the Enderman in particular. You spawn in a desert, where the night is eternal and you only have a couple of seconds to prepare for the calamity that is the Enderman. It then spawns, and while everything seems normal, you know that the particular terror of the Endermans first come to light when you make them angry. You start attacking, a devious sneak attack, followed by a combo that leaves no time for retaliation, and then finally, after an epic battle with the Enderman, he eventually dies. Okay, let's drop the facade. This one is really just an Enderman without any noteworthy modifications, and the game tries to play with your anticipation, resulting in a weirdly amusing dissatisfaction. If you want to be extra careful, you can trap in a boat, and it is noteworthy that there are also always villagers generated in this world, though there are no trees and zombies spawn all the time, which can make it hard to properly utilize the village. 7 out of 10, because they got me and I found it funny. Angry Ghast. After the joke that was the Enderman boss fight, here is a real one. And that one comes straight out of a nightmare. As a normal Ghast does, it flies in the air and shoots at you, except this one shoots 3 fireballs at a time that can kill you instantly whenever they touch you, regardless of the armor you have, and the Ghast itself is immune to its fireballs, so returning it to sender does nothing. All that is topped off with a hefty health pool and a menacing look, and I love it. I fought it 4 times and I died twice, while my very first encounter cannot really be counted as an honorable win because the Ghast suffocated itself immediately after spawning. Movement is the most important aspect of the fight, and there are many skills that can make it easier, but even then, you have to be cautious, because one mistake and you are obliterated immediately. The Warden. While you can attempt to defeat the Warden to complete the challenge, the intended course of action is, again as a joke, to help the Warden complete his stage show for the audience. Let the music play, start the light show, and even become a supporting actor in this surreal stage play. Though be aware that if you take too long, the Warden might get angry and change the genre to a slasher movie. Though you can try again immediately, because this is the only challenge mine that can be started manually, with the mine ingredient in addition to the random challenge selection. I really wish that would apply to more of the challenge mines, like the dragon fight or the ghast fight, but it is how it is. First time I did this challenge, I tried to kill the Warden with a mace, but he disappeared while I was in my mid-air attack, followed by a series of attempts that viewers of my Craftmine series are quite familiar with. In that sense, this challenge has a special place in my heart, resulting in a 10 out of 10. Some final words for my Craftmine series viewers. This is probably also the final episode of my series. I got some hints for the remaining ingredient unlocks, but while some of them were quick to be done, the dryland ingredient required a boss mine that also has the Battlelands biome, which is probably a bug. So I fed a golden carrot to a pig and got some axolotl in a water bucket, and then the boss grind started. Combining the grid world ingredient with the cave exits can make the portal spawn very close to the entrance, and that was what I mostly played besides the boss encounters since the last episode. Turns out, at around 150 mines the game becomes more and more unstable, but in between I found a shimmering key. Okay, I found a lot of shimmering keys, but that one led to a tree, and with renewable wood, and because of that renewable tools, I decided to make my hub area more pretty. Thank you for being part of the journey, sorry for the quick end, and sorry for the bad singing in the background. I just needed to add the World God Only Knows reference somewhere, even if it meant to damage my self-esteem. So much about that. In that sense, see you soon. Bye.